guys, it is 36 degrees and 9 a.m. Terrible. So I want to go jump in the ocean once I've eaten. Because it's going to get to 39 in 2 hours. So I want to go ocean. I want to see the op shops. And then I think I'm just going to be inside reading my book for the rest of the day, or editing for the rest of the day, or doom scrolling for the rest of the day. And I want to see if we can go to Mullewa on the way to Wave Rock. Eight hours, okay. It's so cute. Also, I'd like to point out a fun fact right now. That right there is the same sun tent that I had at Christmas that I couldn't put back down. So I have a feeling it wasn't a me problem, because look at, it's literally held together with like a shirt. Not my fault. I stand by the instructions for the sun tent, the one person sun tent that needed 2 people to be put down. Not possible. It's really funny the way the world works, hey? I just wish I could express to you truly the sensory experience this hot wind is. The outside of my water bottle is too hot to touch. So, OMG, non-spotto. We're at 130, by the way. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I was in the up shop. Oh my god, it's so hot. I'm not going to the other one. I just went to one and I got one shirt, but I was in the line for the op shop to pay, and we were standing there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this shirt back and go, because I realized I left my brother's vinyls in my car and they're probably gonna warp because it's so hot. Anyway, I was like ready to put the shirt back and leave, and this lady in line hands me some money and goes, just give her that for the cup, and then walks out with a cup. And I was like, are you literally kidding me? I was about to leave. Oh, and I was there for another 5 minutes after she left, waiting for the customer, and for the customer service, and I couldn't just leave because I had to give her the money for the cup. And now I have to race back to my car and get the vinyls out of my car. Oh, they're probably already gone. It's currently 40 degrees, so too hot to just do anything at all. I just went and jumped in the ocean, and I've come back to my hostel to have some coconut water. I'm just going to see what time it's going to drop. Yeah, it's not. It's going to get to 33 at 5, so that's when I can take you guys out and have a little explore. Sorry, not sorry, sacrificing my health and safety. What am I trying to say? Not sacrificing footage for my health and safety. I also have not been drinking enough water for sure. Anyway, I'm gonna go sit in the shade and eat some chocolate coconut water and drink some more water. That's the update. I just want to head to the tourist shop because I want like a cute little touristy Geraldton baby tea. I have problems and they're not getting solved anytime soon, or ever probably. And it's not open, so let's drive up the coast and go to a beach outside of Geraldton. I'm not really sure what's going on, but half of the traffic lights are out in Geraldton. So traffic is self-directed right now and it's not going well. Why does this also look muddy? I've seen some beautiful beaches and now I'm getting picky. The old me wouldn't care. So this is Sunset Beach. I am voting that we go back to the main foreshore. Because it's smelly and seaweedy, and I'm a little baby. the sensation of seaweed hitting you in the water, and then also just getting like random little stingy bits where you're like not sure if that's sea lice getting you. So I had a shower and I was thinking about how nice it would be if it would rain after having 40-degree weather, and then it did start raining and now it just feels like a little rainforest. I've just been eating my dinner. My mum shouted me Thai. Thanks, Mum. We're going to Mullewa and Wave Rock tomorrow. Good morning. It's 6 a.m. and it is so humid. I've already cracked the shits. I went to go grab my groceries from the kitchen at the hostel. Locked until 7:30. Mind you, if I leave at 7:30, it's fine, but I'm just gonna get to Wave Rock really late and I'm worried about like dusk and ruse and road safety, blah blah blah. So I literally cracked it, and then I found some guy doing laundry and I was like, hey, do you have access to the kitchen so I can get my groceries? And he was like, yep. So that's good, and I've organised a little bit in the car because my CDs were literally everywhere and it's still a mess. I just have to I just have to let it be until I get home, honestly, because it's not worth the effort and the stress at the moment. So we've made it to Mullewa. I just did a little handstand for my mother in front of this cool bit of art. On the beach, you stay with the earth 'cause you don't understand that I would wanna freeze. So this is the Monsignor Hawes church. This is where all the white people got to pray. But I'll show you Mass Rock, where the First Nations, Indigenous peoples were allowed, quote unquote, to follow their faith. Whether you believe that it was their faith or they were indoctrinated is up to you. Still a pretty interesting part of history, and it's a really important part of history. If you want to learn more, I urge you to read the book False Claims of Colonial Thieves by Charmaine Papertalk Green. It's a pretty cool building. It's a shame that it was used to do harm, and there's a pretty deep and painful history behind it, and I think it's really important to learn wherever you are in the world. Especially if you're a white person, it's part of your duty to learn about these things to be the best ally that you can. So this is Our Lady Mt Carmel Church. It's got these very distinctive white domes. Learned to dance and I was swaying all alone, stiff as stone. Distance grows. Try to break your walls, but all I ever end up breaking is your bones. Bruises show. John Hawes cared for the Aboriginals of the Mullewa district, and in true missionary spirit wished to bring them to the Catholic faith through celebration of the Mass. Since the Aboriginals would not come to his church, he chiselled parts of this rock flat to serve as a table and altar. Would you think that if they don't want to come to your church, they don't want to follow your religion, and you should leave them alone? Yeah, if you want to learn more, definitely read False Claims of Colonial Thieves. There are so many similar stories around Australia. This is just one that I have studied and resonated with. I think it's really, really, really important to read between the lines on these sorts of things. Where, you know, it says this white man had a really good affinity with the local Indigenous people. And he understood that they didn't want to pray in a church, so he made them a pew out here. There are so many signs there saying, leave them the fuck alone. I think if somebody wants to join a religion, they will do it on their own terms, not because somebody is making them or forcing them to. Obviously, we can't change it now, but as I said, it's important to learn about. It's important to stay informed and to make your own discretion about things that you read online saying he had a great affinity with them. It's like, right, but how many Yamaji people were slaughtered in the process of having a great affinity with them? Did they have a great affinity because they got along and had things in common and wanted to have a beautiful relationship, or did they have a great affinity because of the generational trauma of knowing that if they didn't get along with white man, if they didn't give themselves into white man or enslave themselves to white man, they were likely to be slaughtered or tortured or any number of things. You know, there's so many layers to things that need to be acknowledged. If you knew nothing about Australia or Indigenous history and you looked at those two signs, you'd go, this is great, this is amazing. But what about all of the frontier massacres before that, every part of history before that? There's more to it, Obviously, as a white person, I think that you should obviously go out and speak to Indigenous people, Black people, First Nations people, wherever you are. Learn the history. It is so important. It is so, so, so important. You know, go out and search out the truth for yourself. That is the least that you can do. That is the least that you can do, is be educated and informed on the truth from the perspective of the people who were exploited, because history is told by the victors. There are so many flies, and they're all in my car now, yeah, ready to drive for 7 hours, and then another 8 hours, and then another 7 hours, and then another 7 hours, and then I'll be home. Oh. Okay, freaking get out of my car so I can leave. Let's drive. I'm gonna grab some food out of my esky because it's 8 o'clock and I'm pretty hungry. Not sorry for that rant, but back to the road trip. To just clarify, my early return, I'd like to first and foremost say that it is dangerous for me to continue up north. I was speaking to a woman who I met at the hostel that I was at, and she was driving up to Exmouth yesterday, and the wind was so strong that cars had to pull over. Wind was basically red from the dirt that had entered the sky, which is just not safe for my car, my lungs, my visibility while I'm driving, nothing. There is nothing that could make me drive through those conditions. There is also a cyclone currently on its way to Exmouth, which is where my next stop was to be. As I've said, this was a trial run. I will have another chance. I will save more money, I will be more wise, and I'll take it slower. I knew that, the goal of doing all of Australia in, 6 weeks was honestly such an idealistic belief. But it's good to be idealistic, like sometimes, like it's good to be, you know, positive and optimistic and, you know, hope for the best. But I'm really, really glad that I did end up actually slowing down, taking some extra days. I saved money on fuel. I got to see a beautiful part of the world that I wouldn't have otherwise seen if I hadn't have just like chilled out in the Margaret River, Cape Naturalist area during that time. I'm really, really happy with the way that this trip has actually gone. I'm super grateful that there were things that made me stop and slow down and consider my trip. You know, the bogging was awful, like terrible. I was so unprepared. I didn't mean to go off-roading. I never had the intention of going off-road. But it really put it in perspective about just like chilling out, taking my time. I'm even sad that I like didn't stay in Esperance and look around a little bit more, and I was eager to get out. Like, there's a lot of things that I would do differently. I have the time, I have the opportunities, I'm still young. You know, I still have a life back in Melbourne that I have to go back to. While a lot of viewers will be disappointed, there is still so much time for me to see the rest of Australia. There will still be more adventures for me to go on and more videos for me to make. It's not the end of the world. I'm just making the right decision for myself. I really do hope I've inspired some of you to travel, whether you're from Australia and to travel Australia, or from another country and to travel your home country and discover everything that it has to offer. This is not the end, we've still got a couple more days, but I really do hope that you have enjoyed this series, even if it's silly. I'm really happy that I've been able to be myself and share my journey with the world. I know a lot of people have had a lot to say, but at the end of the day, it's been my journey and I'm super grateful for it. There's a lot of things I would go back and do differently. There's a lot of things that I wouldn't change, and that's the way that life goes. I've learned so much. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. There's still going to be a couple more episodes because I've still got to get home. But I just thought I would hop on here and say that. And I've had a lot of comments saying, what about Tasmania? What about Tasmania? Because I didn't say it in the first video that I was going to go visit Tasmania. Tasmania for me, from Melbourne, is a boat ride across, so I didn't really include it in my initial planning because I was like, I'm not going to take the time to take a boat across Australia. I'd like to do Tasmania as its own little trip. I've got some friends who want to visit Tasmania, so it might be a non-solo journey, which would be lovely. Honestly, like the fact that my first video got so many views and so much traction, I genuinely thought that I would have like 5 viewers and it would be my family and friends, and that would have been fun and amazing too. Like, that's why I posted it. I literally posted it for my family and friends to watch because, you know, that was the best way to update them. But I am really glad that I have like created a little audience and a little community, and I hope that like you've had fun watching me. And if you haven't, that's okay. You don't have to keep watching me. You can go watch something else. I'm sure there's something else on many different platforms that you can enjoy as well. So obviously I've started doing 90 kilometers instead of like whatever the speed limit is. Well, unless the speed limit is under 90 kilometers, obviously. And it's like saved me so much petrol and yada yada yada, so it's worth it. But I want to go fast, I want to go vroom vroom, I want to zoom, I want to get there quickly. I'm not patient. You know, we're passing through Latham. Heavy on the passing through. Small towns is you have to slow down, and you know how I feel about going slowly, and it just makes me have to go even slowlier. Those of you who are concerned, I just pulled over, topped up my coolant, checked my oil, and topped up my water. So please, everything's okay and under control. more expensive one, it feels like it lasts longer. I don't know if it's just in my head or if it's actually the quality of the diesel. I don't know anything about diesel in terms of that, so I don't know. If you do know, let me know. Now there ain't no place to run to. Ain't no place to run down to be. A reflection of us all. Bang, 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 just shoot us down. Hi Queens, we have arrived in Wave Rock, Hyden. I went and had a look at the rock. I just pulled my curtain down. I went and had a look at where the rock path is. It's so hot. I cannot even fathom getting out of my car. I've just had the aircon on for a little while, but I don't want to waste it. So I'm just kind of enduring the humidity of my car. I think the water is making me really sick. Because I literally feel so nauseous. To be fair, I've been driving all day in the heat, but trying to stay hydrated is so hard when the water either tastes like somebody peed in it a little bit or put a little bit of pool water in it. I just I was doing okay with it, but I don't know what happened. I think it must have been the ice that I put in, honestly. It just made me feel so ill. And that's my mistake, to be fair. I knew I was risking it when I was putting grocery store ice into my water, but I was I can't drink tea temperature water anymore. I can't. Because the flavor is worse when it's warm. So I was I'd rather just have it cold, but I think the ice has made it even worse. So I'm kind of just reading my book and dealing with the sore stomach. I unfortunately read my comments again. Don't read the comments. I feel I didn't clarify that I'm a politics student, so I have a tendency to talk about politics. And some people don't like that, but good riddance, because I don't care. I'll update you guys if anything happens. I'm honestly likely to just fall asleep while I'm here reading my book, because I literally am in so much stomach pain. And drink water to feel better. The call is coming from inside the house. So, the ice cold water that I just could not drink, instead of wasting it, because I'm not going to waste it, I've soaked my sarong, and I also poured some on my head to wear to cool me down. Genius! And then I don't have to leave my aircon on or turn it on randomly.